Hello and welcome to the Money Queen podcast. I am Alex Nicolaitis, the Money Queen. I'm here to unite the masculine and feminine energetics of money and invite you in joining me to break the stigma of we don't talk about money here. I will deliver the loving bitch slaps that you need in your business to elevate you as a leader and support you to that next level and welcoming in the wealthiest version of yourself. With over 13 years in the accounting and bookkeeping industry, I utilize the support of the masculine in systems, structure, support, and ATO compliance, combined with the feminine of the energetics of mentoring, guiding, getting really curious. So hit that subscribe button, leave me a rating, and I cannot wait to have you by my side as we raise the feminine collective and create true generational wealth and change. Today's episode is 12 money rules that I live by. Now, this has been inspired by one of my new favorite humans in the world, and I'm going to go so far as to say he's the male version of me. His name is Ramit. I don't know if his last name, but his first name is a statement enough. It's like Beyonce, right? And I tell you what, everything that I absorb of his, I'm like, fuck yes. Amen. Preach. I am picking up what you are putting down. No, he's not single. He's married. Settle down, everyone. And he lives in the US. We digress. Now, he has 10 rules that he lives by, and it got me inspired to get clear on what actually are my money rules that I live by. So I sat down and I got clear on what they are. I couldn't decide on just 10, so I have 12, and let's be honest, I'm probably going to add in a few extra in the mix along the way. So let's just jump straight on in. Now, before I start this, actually, this is a guide for you to get clear on your own, like what I have done with Ramit. So anything that you hear in today's episode, it's an invitation for you to get curious, to be like, do I agree with Alex? Or am I actually so far on the other spectrum to her, it's not funny? And that's actually my truth. So this is all an invitation of what my personal money rules are. It's not to say that they need to be exactly the same as yours. I'm just sharing my own personal experience so that you can get clear on what your truth is. Because we know, if you've been a long-term listener, that the first and most important part of stepping into the wealthiest version of yourself and claiming the life and business that you desire is getting reconnected with what your truth is and forming a relationship with that. So, number one, no hesitation in investing in health, wellness, and education. The reason why this is so important to me is because I believe that our bodies are a temple. If you put shit in, you're going to get shit out, right? If you put KFC and McDonald's and pizza and junk food, you are not going to be running at an optimum level. It's like if you have a sports car and you put in E10 when it actually needs premium, it's going to not run as efficiently as possible. It's going to need to go to the mechanics because it's not getting the fuel that it needs to be able to run properly. So then there creates additional repair and maintenance costs, i.e. you're going to need to go to the doctor more often because what you're putting in isn't actually what your body needs for it to thrive. We are only given one body. So I believe and I invest, I walk the walk, I talk the talk in making sure that my body is treated as a temple because I've only been given one, as have you. So I am so okay in investing quite heavily sometimes in my health, my wellness, and my education. And what that is for me, another reason behind this is because it's particularly around my education. I invest heavily in my own education, my own personal development, my business development, because that is the highest return on investment that you will ever spend. And the reason for that is because you are in somewhat complete control, 95% control of what the outcome looks like from that. If you invest $100,000 in the stock market, unless you own everything that you have invested in and you have a controlling power and influence in those companies, it's completely out of your fucking hands. But if you invest $100,000 in yourself, in your personal development, be that a coach or a mentor or stepping into the wealthy version of yourself, doing a wardrobe reset like last episode, that's only $500, then that is going to give you a higher return on investment because of the amount of control that you have to be able to guide the outcome. I know that $500 that I invested last week from last week's episode on my wardrobe reset, I am going to see incredible returns on that $500 that I invested in myself, that I invested in my health and wellness and education, because that was all of those things. If I put clothes on and I feel gross, I'm not going to want to go outside. I'm not going to want to go and exercise. And the education to be like, how can I have a different relationship with these clothes? How can I style these clothes differently? What gets to be removed from my wardrobe because it's not actually the version of myself that I'm choosing to be? What pieces get to be added in so that I can level up myself? Level up myself? Yeah, level up the version of myself that I'm choosing to be. So it's, and the three elements that I have no hesitation in investing in is brain and my body, right? Because that is everything that we have, our brain and our body, health, wellness, and education. Number 2 is always have 6 months of liquid funds available for me. Now, liquid funds essentially is like cash in the bank or shares that can be sold quite quickly so that it covers my living expenses. So if something astronomical happens and I get zero money coming in for whatever reason, I've got that 6 months of a buffer in my world to go, cool, I've got 6 months to get a fire lit under my ass and get going and changing direction and creating more income in my world. Or I've got 6 months to get a job and, pivot or, I use the word pivot. Sorry. We're not in COVID times anymore. But it's that safety net that I have to be like, I know that I've always got 6 months available to me, and a shitload can happen in 6 months, even 6 weeks. I launched this entire podcast and created 7 episodes, all in the space of 5 weeks. I was talking to someone the other day and she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that in 3 months, right? You can create an awful lot of things in your world, be it tangible things, intangible things, outcomes, depending on how much they mean to you. For me, creating this podcast with high quality and at a pretty quick turnaround was important to me. So I made time for it. I made it a priority in my world. This person that I was speaking to is obviously not as high a priority as it was for me. And that is okay for me as it is for her. It's where does our truth lie in these experiences that we're both having. So always having 6 months of liquid funds so that I know that I have a safety net there, a buffer, if you will, to be able to fall back on if worst case scenario, I get zero money in my door. Number 3 is never keep tabs on who has bought who what, i.e. coffees and gifts, and actually allowing myself to receive without going, okay, they bought me a coffee last week. Now it's my turn to buy them coffee. And then next time I expect her to buy me coffee, or they bought me breakfast. And so now I need to buy breakfast or something for her of the same value so that we're equal. Can you actually just allow yourself to receive? Can you allow yourself to not keep tabs on who owes who what? That is an abundant way of living, as opposed to this scarcity mindset of, I need to be on par with you. I can only receive to the amount that I have given. Actually, can you receive more? Can you allow yourself to receive more? By the way of coffee, by the way of, heck, even just allowing someone to fill up your water bottle. It's allowing you to receive nourishment because someone's giving you water. And interesting that I've picked water because that is our life force. We do not survive without water. So essentially, don't sweat the small stuff. If someone has bought you a coffee, say thank you and let it be. The next time you catch up with them, if they buy you coffee again, let it be. Fuck, they can buy you coffee the next time as well. Let it be. It's the stories that we create that, I'm not worthy enough of receiving 3 coffees in a row from this person. You don't know their story. They may actually be working through something that it's like, I find it hard to gift other people anything. So I'm going to choose to gift my friends every time I go out for coffee with them that coffee. So it may actually be doing them a disservice by rejecting their offer. You don't know. You won't know unless you actually lean into the conversation. You won't know unless you actually allow yourself to receive. And you won't know, interestingly enough, by leaning into the conversation and saying to them, is there a reason for this? Or are you just being generous? Is there something that you're working through? Can we talk about the elephant in the room right now? Because for me, it feels awkward to keep receiving from you because of my own money stories, because of my own inability to receive right now consistently from you. I feel like I have to buy you coffee. I feel like I have to buy you breakfast. I feel like I have to even just give you money right now because you've spent too much money on me. I'm not worthy of that. What stories come up for you when someone wants to gift you something? And can you, I invite you, challenge you to have that conversation with your friend if that is relevant for you. If you are listening to this episode and are picking up what I'm putting down and are ready to unpack and elevate your money story, then pop over to my website and see the money coaching package that is calling your name. Find out for yourself why I have been called the money queen that everyone needs in their life. After working with me, my clients are reclaiming their power in their business, and this has seen them bring hundreds of thousands of dollars into their businesses after having me on board their team. Are you ready to expand? Then let's fucking go, queen. Book in a call with me on my website, which is alexunscripted.com, to show the universe that you are here for everything that you fucking desire and you are taking action. Next rule that I live by is buy quality over quantity always. Now, I'm going to use another clothes example. I have this beautiful white coat that I'm looking at over here. And I was sharing with my stylist today when I did the wardrobe reset. Listen to my last episode if you are wanting to know what on earth a wardrobe reset is. And I said to her, this coat, it is beautiful. It's a Charlie Brown coat. It's a beautiful white color. It fits my body perfectly. It's got this little tie thing around it, belt. Gosh, my words. And every time I wear it, I feel luxurious. And I bought this coat probably like 12 or 13 years ago, and it is still in my wardrobe. I still go to it. I still, when I put it on, I'm like, yes, this is the wealthiest version of myself. I invested, I think, $200 or $300 12 or 13 years ago. The amount of times that I have worn it in those 12 or 13 years is crazy. So the initial investment of $200 or $300 versus how long I have kept it, the condition that it is still in, and the connection that I still have with it when I put it on 12 or 13 years later, that is quality over quantity. If I bought a $50 coat, I guarantee you it would have been out of my wardrobe probably a year later, maybe even two. So that $200 or $300, I'm not going to do the numbers because I don't do numbers in my head, but cost per wear would probably be in the cents as opposed to the dollars because of how long I've held onto it, because it still is a quality piece of clothing. So quality over quantity always. The next one, only work with clients that I love and that we have a genuine partnership in. Because if I say yes to a client, if a client says yes to me, that's only one part of the equation. That's only 50% of the equation. I also get to say yes to them. And how I operate in my business is that we are in partnership. It's not me working for you. It's not you needing something off me and like I'm doing you a favor or you're doing me a favor by saying yes to our services and the reciprocal of that. It's we are genuinely in partnership. I want you to win and you want me to win. We get to have conversations, and even in the language that I speak to my clients, even the language that I speak to my clients in our end of month meetings, I say we. How did we go last month? How are we going to move intentionally forward into next month? What is our goal and intention for next month? What does our reality get to be? Right? This is our tax bill. This is the money that we get to put aside for GST. It's the minute details that equals the macro effect. They feel that partnership by using those words, by living out that embodiment of we are here in partnership, Me for you and you for me. The next money rule that I live by is money dates. Now, I have done an entire episode on this. I think it's episode 3. Now, 30 minutes for everything. Oh my gosh. 30 minutes, first thing of a Monday morning. If you want to know more about that, go and listen to that episode. The next rule is spend generously on experiences. Things like travel, playfulness, and things that get me outside of my comfort zone, like skydiving, like abseiling. I'm adventurous, right? I'm always up for an adventure. My ethos is to seek discomfort. So if you're listening to this and you've got a crazy idea, hit your gal up. My next thing on my list is to go hot air ballooning. If you'd like to do that, also hit me up. So spend generously on those types of experiences because life is here to be lived. I don't just want to be alive in my life. I want to be living it to its fullest potential. So it's all well and good to have money, but are you actually utilizing it? Are you actually investing it in things that make you excited to be alive? A personal experience of mine, my parents lived their entire life in the mentality of we will be able to enjoy life once we retire. So they saved and saved and saved, and they put their pennies away. And my dad passed when I was 18. So they did not get to have that experience because they lived for the future as opposed to living in the now. They never had a family. We as a family never had a family holiday. And because he's now passed, we don't ever get to experience that with him included in it. We don't get to have that experience because they chose scarcity, because they chose fear, because they chose their future as opposed to their present, as opposed to appreciating the family that was there right there and now. They took advantage of that. They took advantage of everyone that was alive and living because they were so focused on the future that they wanted to create, that they missed out on the present. I shouldn't say they, we all missed out. The next rule is my monthly wealth upgrades. As an example, my last episode with the wardrobe reset is my money upgrade for July. And I've spoken about this as well in the episode of stepping forward into the wealthiest version of yourself. Go and listen to that episode if you would like to know more about that. It is a key, crucial part of how I choose to live my life now and how you get to as well if you choose it as well. The next rule is have a diversified portfolio of risk and safe, boring options. My sacred money archetype, if you don't know what that is, go onto my website, have a little sneak around, do the free quiz, come and do a personalized reading with me if you'd like. You're welcome. They are actually really accurate, and every reading that I do, I'm like, yes, knowing what I know of you, the person I'm doing the reading for, I'm like, this is so accurate. And the clients receiving these readings, they're like, so that makes so much sense. So in my profile, my number one is a maverick. A maverick is a risk taker. It's a rule breaker. It's someone who is okay with standing out from the crowd and being different and being solid in my yes and even more solid in my no. So I love risky options. I'm not one to shy away from that. So having a challenge for a maverick, a challenge for someone who is a risk taker and a rule breaker, is being okay with having safety in her world, right? So from a financial point of view, having the balance between risky options and also safe options, i.e., a managed fund that is quite safe, utilizing the compound effect, investing some money into that, and investing every month on a regular basis to utilize the compound effect, that is my safe option. Then investing in properties, that is another safe option for me. It's a set and forget. And I bought it. I have an investment property, I have a couple, and that's with a long-term gain. That's a long-term mindset rather. I'm not interested in selling it. It is going to be there for a long time. It's positively geared, so it works for my lifestyle. And other risky investments, I'm open to. And I've got the funds available. So if you're listening to this and you have a business idea, or if you're looking for investors, send me a DM, slide into my DMs, because I am open to the opportunity of investing into a business. I would love to have that opportunity to bring fresh air into a new business. Oh, I love that I just announced that to everyone listening right now, because it gets to be spoken into. It gets to have voice to that, as opposed to just telling people that I am aware of and are already in my space. So if that's you, I'm looking forward to meeting you. The next rule is have regular discussions with my partner about money before getting married. Now, I don't have a partner at the moment, but this doesn't mean that I don't have a rule around it. So how that I can lean into this now is when I'm dating, being aware of what money conversations come up from the first and second date and third and fourth, if I get to that stage. That's quite rare at the moment because my standards, they're up here and they get to be like that. So it's important to me, especially with what I do, that we are able to have healthy discussions around money before we move into a serious relationship, and especially before we get married. Because if we are not somewhat aligned, then it just won't work, not in my world. And we don't need to be the same. That's not what I'm saying. It's the concept of, can we have conversations around money and have them be effective? If I'm sitting there and I'm too scared to have the conversation, that's a telling point in itself, that I'm too scared to go to my partner to open up this dialogue for fear of the outcome, or for fear of them leaving me, or for fear of rejection, whatever that is, right? So it is important to me to be able to have that open dialogue about money with my partner. The next one is to pay bills as soon as they come in. And the reason for that is because I want to appreciate the flow of money. So often we appreciate money coming into our world, but then when money goes out of our world, we push resentment towards, we push anger towards, we push frustration towards it. So what the universe sees is we love when money comes into our world, but when it leaves our world, we fucking hate that. And what that does is it sends mixed messages. It's like, yes, I love this. No, I hate that. Yes, I love this. No, I hate that. They don't know what to do. You are sending mixed messages. So get clear and get consistent around, I love money coming into my world, and I equally love it leaving my world, because similar to my clothes story, it creates space for more things to come into my world, more aligned money to come into my world, more aligned clients to come into my world. It creates space, and space actually can be safe if you allow it to be. So the final money tip is, or money rule that I live by, is foundational income in business when you are starting something new. This is a really key topic that I teach all of my clients. And what it is, foundational income, is having income in your world that literally covers your living costs. Now, if you're starting a new business, this may be a job for you, or it may be a side hustle. It may be a part of your business, right? For me, I have bookkeeping as part of my business, and I have coaching as part of my business. So the bookkeeping side of my business is my foundational income. I know that all of my living costs are paid from that income, so that everything that I earn from my coaching, it's literally play money. It's surplus, because that foundational income coming from my bookkeeping work, that provides me safety, that provides me with flexibility, that provides me with security, that I know that the standard that I'm living by right now, that I'm choosing, is covered. So then when I show up in my coaching space in this exact arena, and I'm talking to ideal clients about how we get to work with each other, there's no element of fear there. I'm coming from love and abundance. I'm completely unattached from the outcome, because I know that my life that I'm choosing is met from my bookkeeping income. And that allows my business to grow and flourish at an elevated rate, more than someone who does not have that foundational income. Because otherwise, if I did not have that foundational income, I would be coming to a potential coaching client with fear, with scarcity, with doubt in my mind, and desperation even, because I'm like, I need this money. I need you to say yes. I need that to pay my mortgage. I need that to pay my rent, right? But because I've got this foundational income, and again, it may look different for you, there is high intention, low attachment. If a client says yes, fantastic. I get to create more impact in my world, in their world, in the world in general. If they say no, That's okay too. They're not quite ready for me just yet, or they're not ready for me at all. And that is okay as well. I still get to show up. I still get to show up in my abundance. I still get to create impact in a different way. Always from love and abundance. And that is the paradigm that I'm choosing to live in with implementing these 12 money rules that I live by. As an outcome of this episode, I'd love for you to slide on into my DMs and share with me what are some of your money rules that you live by. I would love to know. Thank you, Queen, for saying yes to your yes in listening to this episode and being a part of raising the feminine collective one conversation at a time. Remember to share this episode with your business besties and join me in breaking the tabooness around having money conversations. As always, if you have enjoyed this episode, please rate, subscribe, and share this on your social media, remembering to tag me in it to help this conversation go further, which creates a bigger ripple effect.